ensure
they can't be, papers or promises. They have to be, real troops, real capabilities, so that Ukraine is able to defend itself.
That is the EU's clearest admission yet that diplomacy has failed. As pressure mounts on Ukraine's eastern front, Brussels now signals that written guarantees mean nothing without hard military power. In one of her most alarming warnings, Kallas openly concedes that Donbas is slipping. She frames the Eastern Front as a collapsing fortress and claims that once it falls, Ukraine itself will not survive. Brussels now escalates the fear further. Kallas warns that a Ukrainian collapse would ripple across the region, invoking history to argue that compromise is no longer an option.
We have to understand that Donbas is not Putin's endgame. If it gets Donbas, then the fortress is down, and then they definitely move on with taking the whole of Ukraine. And if Ukraine goes, then other regions are also in danger. We know this from the history, and we should learn from history.
With military aid stretched and political consensus fragile, the EU turns to economic warfare. Kallas pushes a reparations loan funded by frozen Russian assets, not after peace, but during active war.
The most credible option is the reparations loan, and this is what we are working on. We are not there yet, and it is increasingly difficult, but we're doing the work. We still have some days. Reparations loan is based on the Russian frozen assets. That means it doesn't come from our taxpayers' money, which is also important, and it also sends a clear signal that if you do all this damage to another country, you have to pay for the reparation.
Sanctions, Kallas makes clear, are no longer temporary pressure tools. They are central to Europe's long-term strategy, aimed at Russia and anyone seen as enabling Moscow. As Europe edges closer to the brink, Kallas dismisses Moscow's warnings as empty threats. She draws a hard moral line, one aggressor and one victim, and shuts the door on any security guarantees for Russia. The message from Brussels is clear. Escalation is no longer a risk. It is now policy.